Hello and welcome back to Nether Expedition. Ooh, jeez, I'm lagging a little bit there. One sec. Uh, as you can see, I'm still very much in the Nether, and I'm actually on easy this time, so don't worry about that much. Da, 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 da. 10 amp particles, that's probably it. No, that's not it, that's strange. So yes, to recap, in the previous episode, my portal out of here decided to explode, thereby leaving me very much stuck here because I have no source of iron. I could, in theory, acquire some flint to make a flint and steel, but I have no iron with which to do it. So I either have to find one of my very old portals in one of the other strongholds around here, or I have to potentially, I guess, make an iron golem farm. As it is right now, I'm just trying to get a bit settled. A few interesting developments, actually. First is that villagers appear to be afraid of pigmen. They don't run away from them as much as you might expect them with zombies, but if there's a pigman on one end of the corridor, they like to come in over to this one. I also spent a fair bit of time idling so that I could actually get, well, some food. Thankfully, it seems melons do actually spawn here, so I'm okay for food, more or less for the moment. And also trees, which is very helpful because that means I can actually make tools. As you can see down here, I've got two little wooden pickaxes, one of which is almost burned through just from digging out a wall over there. I have already destroyed my iron pickaxe, just making rooms around here. But I figured I can't replace it, I can't repair it, I might as well use it. It's still not gonna get enchanted, and wow, you're a bit noisy today. So I figure one of the first things we need to do is get the villagers somewhere where they won't end up spontaneously killing themselves. So I'm just going to break down these trees into some doors, and then we're going to go upstairs, scary enough, must have all the gas, and just build a few kind of rooms inside the corridors for them to live in. That will hopefully at least get their population up, which will make each individual villager a bit more redundant, rather than the 5 that I presently have. Although that does raise the interesting implication of villagers who are born and live their entire lives inside of hell. Well, I'm sure that'll be an interesting story when they finally get to Stormhaven. As it stands, their ghasts have spawned pretty much instantaneously with me arriving. Ooh, apple. So, I don't know if that's going to be a recurring theme, but I spawned, and oh god, I believe I just saw tentacles coming in through the ceiling. Very pleasant. I have to be very careful with how I see these melons that do go around. Okay, so let's make some doors, and then we'll head upstairs and see what's going on. Let's see, I should need 12 pieces of wood for what I'm having in mind. 12 logs, sorry. This is wood. Yes, I make all of my doors from just whole grain wood. Eight. And divide. 8 doors. And we'll grab some quick building supplies. We might as well use the nether brick because, well, the nether brick looks ugly as sin, which I suppose is rather appropriate for a hell dimension. This is interesting. Occasionally there'll be one very curious villager that'll just wander up to this guy. I don't think he's... Yeah, I think this is the same pigman that spawned originally and everyone just fled to one side, to one end of the corridor. Ooh. Hello. Oh Jesus, 2 there. Whoop, 3. Okay, I'm just going to turn my sounds right down, so I don't have to speak so loudly over them. And I've made some charcoal. As you see, I have some torches down in the... well, in both the melon farm and the tree farm. So since I don't have any water, the melon farm is very slow at the moment. I'm lucky to get much of any crop from that right now. Let's just make a door here, shall we? And then we can divide them up later. Okay, everything looks okay. Looks decent. Decent. And we'll just kind of repeat that pattern over here, I think. Jeez, these gas... We need a volume control for specific mobs, because some mobs are a lot louder than others. Ghast in particular, for example. It's always annoying when my OCD hits, because for example, I've just used a brand new fresh wooden pickaxe, and I have one that's almost dead, so now they both have durability marks on them. And that always sends my OCD ticking. So now I have to try and use them to an equal level. Oh no. Heaven forfend that I should somehow have pickaxes that are largely worn down. I think I used some of this corridor already when I was building the tree farm, and such. I was just gathering materials to block off the passage after the explosion. Can I find the one here? How many have we used already? 3. No? Oh. Yep, it is 3, so let's see if we can fit another one down here. And then we shall see... Ooh, this goes right in Nether, what's dreadful. Oh, there it goes. That's a sound I'm having to get very, very used to at this rate. Because I can't enchant these at all means they're pretty much just scrap. No, we don't place melon as a building material. Although I have seen some players on some servers use melons to build entire structures, so I suppose I shouldn't really be talking too much there. The fact that you can use melon as a very sturdy building material is an interesting one. Okay. So we now have 4 on this side. Open that up. Let's empty a little space in here. Once I got these set up reasonably nicely. These are already looking to be higher quality rooms than the ones I gave them in Blue Sands. But these wooden pickaxes just go so quickly. Probably the sooner I can get some source of iron from the villagers, all the better, really. Because at least then I won't spend half my time waiting for trees to grow to make tools. Okay, everything's rather okay. There's a window into each other's. Right here. Just to make them all even. There does seem to be a bit of a lag issue with the Nether recently. It seems that almost no matter what you have inside of the Nether, you're going to get lag. I'm not entirely sure what that could be, because they haven't really added much to the Nether in a while. I mean, I suppose they added the strongholds like this, and the blaze and such, and the magma cranes, so it could be a lot more just monsters spawning around. But in general, yeah, the Nether hasn't really changed much since the Halloween update, which introduced it. Which I suppose is a blessing and a curse for me. Oh, and there goes our pickaxe, so we'll have to go make another. Just while I'm quickly here. This is sort of what you call in game design a additive build, which is to say that I'm digging out and I'm using the materials that I'm digging out to make things. So basically means I always have materials, even if they may end up being of lower quality. As opposed to... well, this is subtractive as opposed to additive, I should say. Additive is where you have nothing and you're bringing in materials to build your stuff. Good chest, there we go. Might as well build the 4 of them. Click, 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 click. Now, once we've gotten our villagers squared away in their own little houses over there, I think we shall probably see about getting the tree farm to be a bit larger or more reliable. Hello, tentacle of Cthulhu, or whatever the hell you are. Oh, jeez, there's a lot of them. Unfortunate thing is, I have absolutely no way of either getting arrows or making a bow, so I'm kind of doomed on that front. And what I'm thinking is we'll have, one row of 4 little houses along here, and then we'll have identical ones directly behind it. And we might just combine at some point, I don't know. But that's just so the whole thing is neatly contained. I would have them going into one single corridor, but I might need them for different pieces, and for that I might actually need to separate them. So I'll just save my time doing that. Just having them accessible from one corridor at a time. Dig through here so I can have a marker where I need to end this. If you haven't learned already, I'm a massive, massive OCD freak, so I'm going to be doing stuff like that for a fair bit, I imagine. Where did my hole come out? Oh, jeez. I didn't even dig through to the one I was actually building on. Derp, derp, derp. There we go. That's better. And I can even reach for it now. There. Ooh. I guess that's gonna be on one of our next rooms. Am I still carrying? Yep, I am. Good. Making sure I have the materials for this. It has been quite a while since I've had to actually worry about the materials I was carrying. Not much of a welcome sensation, but makes for a change at least. Ordinarily I have like a absolute massive automated tree farm and a fairly large cobblestone generator, and that's all feeding together and building all manner of ridiculous things for me, so I can just have all manner of stone blocks all the time, regardless of what it takes to actually put them together. Yeah, see, I would build this way, but that appears to be a cave, so there may be some nasties in there, and there may be some more. Ooh, I saw some. Ooh, that's a lava plume. Note to self, be careful digging up there. Okay, so now we come over here and do largely the same thing. Just dig away this wall a little bit, so I've got a bit more room to run around. We are probably going to spend quite a while near this place, just because our main crafting station is underneath it. Which means we're probably going to hear a fair bit of door slamming. Just give me one tiny bit of tea. Yes, yes, I'm so English, I'm drinking tea whilst playing Minecraft. But when you're in hell, I suppose it helps to have a bit of tea. Otherwise, it's not really worth living, is it? I'm sure Queen Victoria will be proud of me. Okay, make sure I don't pick up the one that's actually not been used yet. That's another room already done. Hurrah. I suppose I'm saying hurrah as well, that's not helping me in my, not appearing to be absolutely unbelievably British. I get a lot of comments from people about my vocabulary, and just, I suppose vocabulary itself is probably a symptom of this. Just, the vast I can't really describe this without using it. The, my linguistic ability is something that is often commented on, just how tremendously posh and British I tend to seem, just by virtue of my language alone. And Jesus, one to the wrong side, isn't it? Grr. I suppose I do have a bit of a... as a writer for a member for like 4 years now, I have actually had to look up a fair number of words and deal with writing a fair number of different kind of styles of character, so it's kind of just got ingrained into my language as to how these people talk, and then trying to think of how they would talk about something has just led that to bleed into my own dialect. Or I could just be a posh mofo. Who knows? Presumably the person who dissects my brain after death, so... Although, if I die in here, I suppose there won't be much of a corpse left to examine. Actually, if I die in here, I'll end up back in Blue Sands. But I'd really, really rather not leave a bunch of villagers in the Nether alone. I mean, you should have seen the zombie sieges that I had to fend off just setting up that first episode. It's like, there's not enough of them to spawn an iron golem, so they have no defense whatsoever from the zombie sieges, even though the iron golems were added in order to prevent villages from just going completely extinct. And whilst I know that the golems themselves aren't like an impervious defense or anything like that, they're still... pound for pound, the iron golem is not much weaker than the ender dragon. It's like the only mob that has more health than the iron golem is an ender dragon. It's interesting when they start introducing more dragons. Oh god, if they introduce a dragon here, I'm screwed. Notch, Jeb, if you're watching this, just disregard my advice completely. I'm sure it's absolutely terrible and not worth pursuing whatsoever. Also, please don't hurt me. Okay, so there's our next wall. What did I do? Oh, I suppose. Okay, so door goes there. Wall goes here. Poor, unfortunate, trapped in hell villager goes in here. And then when I can't make pistons. Ugh. I realized after I finished filming episode 1 that after that explosion there was probably quite a lot of, hello Steam, quite a lot of redstone components, as well as just random gold blocks and such lying around inside of that crater. I just blocked it off and completely forgot about them until after they despawned. Yeah, I could have been doing so much more, but then gold tools last basically seconds. So we have one more door in our inventory. So I would have gotten through a fair bit, but only very quickly. Still losing the pistons. Like, everyone who knows me knows that I have a lot of issue with just making a normal door. Just making a 6 wooden planks door. It's like, if I have pistons, the door is made of pistons. If I have sticky pistons, the door is made out of any block known to man. And that's just how I tend to go, really. I'm a huge redstone nerd. Or as I believe the Reddit recently said, redstone wizard. Okay, just make sure this works. So we put our fences there. Gives us a nice little view in. A lot of these are sharing the same walls, so just a quick snack. There we go. A lot of these are sharing the same walls, so I suppose there is a privacy issue, but you're stuck in hell. It's not meant to be pleasant. It's never going to be pleasant in here. But I can at least try to make it reasonably pleasant. In theory, the villagers would just be quite happy to live in a small, squat 2x2 space, if that. But no, I'm actually giving them some decent living. Because I am the one that got them stuck here. By giving myself spawn eggs and plonking them down in the Nether, but I'm the one that got them here. Just to settle any doubts about that, I did just today upgrade to 1.2.5, which means I no longer have too many items or anything like that installed. And I don't really have much reason to install them at all. So, yeah, I'm now incapable at cheating. If there's anything in here, then I'm going to have to mine it myself. I'm going to have to pick up the trees. I'm going to have to plonk together the wood. I have to go fetch a pickaxe, because that one just broke. I have to spread that out a bit so I can actually get past easily. The only thing is, I can't make a wooden door that they can't open, but as it turns out, they're not terribly fussed with these trap doors, so I get 2 of those for every 6 wood, so they may become a standard around here. But I can't plonk them on the ground and have the villagers not use them. Well, I can't have any kind of automated doorway. Oh, and there's another tree. Oop. Accidental defoliage. Let's harvest this. That's a bit more wood. We'll stick this in the furnaces and get some more charcoal, I think. Because we've got all the doors we need for now. Eee. I'm not sure. Usually I believe villager breeding is related to... well, they designate houses based on whether it has a block above a door, and outside of the door is a direct line to the sky, which is to say the outside. I don't know if they could actually define a house around here by virtue of there is no sky. I'm not sure. I guess I'll have to find out about that. I'm just going to fetch some more saplings. I think it was in the wood chest. There we go. Two. Three. Just follow it right here. We'll make our... That was an interesting sounding ghast. Jeez, I think those ghasts are now singing in sync. Not in sync, of course, because that would be just ridiculous. I mean, can you imagine a ghast boy band? Actually, considering I've heard some of the more recent boy bands, yes I can. But, oh god, that'd be hellish. Okay, that's that. I see we're getting some decent production out of our melons, and oh god, I'm sweating all over the place. As long as I have melons, I can live, but I kind of need to make some kind of progress towards, I suppose, getting out of here. But, some kind of progress to making this place a bit more livable, and oh jeez, I pity whoever has this side of the room. But then they tend to focus on one specific kind of building. Excuse me. That is, of course, assuming that they even recognize these as houses. They should recognize the doors, and villagers love doors. I think I need to go back to the one. Yeah, you've seen here, I've gotten rid of, like, what, eight or so, dozen or so pieces of netherrack, and this one pick is almost halfway gone already. It's like I'm kind of gonna have to set up an iron golem of some description, just almost by necessity. Because the longer lasting the materials, the less wood I need, the less I have to worry about my tree farm. And the less I have to worry about my tree farm, well, the more I can worry about just about everything else in this dimension. I would be tempted to just time-lapse this and give you all a tour of it, but unfortunately, the only thing I can really do for editing right now is Windows Movie Maker, which does not let me do transitions. It just crashes, I don't know why. Does not let me add music, which is very annoying. I can pretty much barely add the title cards to this. There we go. If I try to do anything more than very, very simplistic editing, it just crashes completely for some reason. Which actually makes it worse than some of the older videos I did for Remember, which shall remain unnamed and unlinked to. Because, by God, you do not need to see me as a teenager attempting to be entertaining. If you find me entertaining now, then, well, you definitely don't need to see that. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. It's just that seems to be an interesting mantra that's just going around. Every single YouTuber has just taken on to saying that. Felicia Day as well, but then I suppose she may be parodying it. What's that? Oh dear, that's a breach. That's not what we need. There. The last thing we need is a view to the outside world here, where there's so many ghasts. There's one flying by the window. Oh, snag! Run! Well, that's our first brush with death. Well... Okay, maybe we won't cut this wall back much more. Oh, wow. I remind you that I'm on easy, and there's like 5 or 6 ghasts out there. That is just so much pain. So much pain. So we're just not even going to bother with that for the time being. We're gonna hope they despawn at some point. Although I doubt they will, considering how close they are to me. I think iron golems might actually aim for, like, they might attack zombie pigmen. I'm not 100% positive. I think they might. I have seen them take them on before. So they would do us a reasonable favor in attacking the pigmen, but I think even an iron golem is going to have trouble with a ghast. Like, if it's ranged, the iron golem pretty much can't get it. Now, they can get at skeletons, but with the mild problem that the skeleton is slow moving and not really that big of a threat otherwise, but the ghast is flying. It's like, there's almost no way I'm ever going to take down a ghast in this series by virtue of the fact that I just don't have a bow. Let's see if we can move these fellows in, shall we? Which may be a bit more difficult than I suspect. What's it doing? Okay, let's nudge you along. No, wrong. You're running in completely the wrong direction, mate. I need you to come over here and this is... Oh, they're all coming down here. What is it? What is it? What is driving you all down here? Is there a pigman down here? I don't see a pigman. Do you see a pigman? Actually, you may be heavily traumatized and seeing everything. Ooh, jeez. I need some kind of villager catnip to drive them down here. What? They don't respond to wheat. Do I just put down a door or something? What? What do I do to get them interested in coming over here? Hopefully those ghasts are going to die down a bit, because I don't think anyone's particularly interested in listening to a series that's half an hour long at every instance and just full of the strange ghostly children noises like that. Ooh, jeez. But anyway, this is episode 2, and I shall see you next time, where hopefully I'll have gotten these guys moved in and our roofs will be slightly less penetrable by tentacles of hell. Hello again, Steam. I'm going to have to turn that off next time I do this. But also interesting is, when I booted up, there's this gap here which leads into a small cave which I had to cover up very hastily before the villagers ran into it. When I first booted up for today, there was a ghast stood right in there, not moving, not making a sound, just a big white box. Phew, the tree farm's moderately productive, it seems. Okay, I will see you all later.